Summarized our meeting from January 9th and then again from last night. So we've had 2 meetings since the last time we were here. The 9th, the highlights are that we broke up into small groups of 5 groups of 4, and each of those groups started looking at the options, the 7 options that have been presented, and started whittling down that list. And then we had a discussion amongst all of the groups as a whole on yes, no, maybes, things we get rid of from that group of from that table, so to speak. That led us down to having 3 options left as we got into last night. Option B, option D, and option C4 were the 3 options that kind of remained as they're labeled. So last night we had another discussion about that. As a whole, everybody that was there got a chance to thumbs up, thumbs down, so to speak, on those options that they liked, didn't like, and why. And it's kind of come to the point now where next week when we get together, we'll come with start putting together our preliminary recommendations. But coming out of last night, one of the points was that option C will most likely not be one of the recommendations, which was the option that includes Maywood as a potential alternative. There's still some people that are interested in that for various reasons or more discussion on it, but for the general consensus is that won't be coming forward to you right now as we are kind of laying things out. Even those that are not in favor of that option want it clearly understood that Maywood was strongly considered, that there's just too many negatives against it as far as pricing goes, space goes, efficiency, redundancy of education for the middle school, those types of things. So we want to make sure that as we move forward and we bring things to you, that gets fully explained as we take the next steps. Next steps are to come to you with a preliminary recommendation. Then we go to the public with the survey that you guys will put together, and then the facilities committee will get back together in May to revise a last-minute formal proposal, we'll call it, or formal recommendation. So that's kind of the last 2 meetings we've had. We've got 1 more next week, and then we come to you on the 14th with a preliminary recommendation. So I guess, questions? Oh, man. Thought
Not
I'd be done.
Not that easy. Jason, thank you for all you're doing on that committee. One of the things that I'm looking at as I think about how the options are being presented is whether it's being articulated clearly enough that the options are 5 schools versus 6 schools, and how we're talking about what the associated operating costs are to operate 6 schools instead of 5 schools. Because to me, looking at the materials, that jumped out so clearly. And I was just wondering if you could share a little bit about how the facilities committee has been talking about that topic.
I think that the cost of adding the 6th school, which is basically Maywood, make sure I got the right sheet, and it's just eye-opening as to the cost of adding that additional school and how that impacts the operating budget. Mm-hmm. It almost doubles bringing a new school on and adding a 2nd school in Maywood in option C. That almost doubles the year-to-year operating budget. So I think people within the committee understand that it'll be getting that information out to the public. I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks to that plan. So
thanks. I just wanted to put that out there because when you only are talking about, even in this kind of forum, whether or not to use Maywood, that framing it that way kind of maybe is harder for people to understand.
Yeah, you're right.
We're talking about 5 schools or 6 schools.
Yeah.
And how many more costs are associated with running 6 schools.
Yeah, and frankly, this building was brought up as, we need to document why this building is being fully utilized right now, so that people don't think, well, there's excess space here, because there's really not excess space in this building, from my knowledge of it. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
That's it. I like that.
All right. Thank you.